know, like this bitch, that nigga, this, that, you know, like.
Hey, what's up, boys? So today we're going to be looking at a video titled "This is what the life of an incel looks like." It's by HBO. We've looked at a lot of incel-related content in the past, and this video is kind of going to explain like the insides of the way they live and the way their mind works. So, without further ado, without any more blabbering, I'm going to get into it.
Fireball multiple. Ellie, I'm going to fireball multiple government buildings. Ellie, my name is Spaft, S-P-A-F-T. I live in the United Kingdom. Within the next few months, I'm going to fireball the cities. Remember that. And if you don't report me to the police, it's on your conscience, honey.
That's
I would take that very, very seriously, especially if you haven't looked at the other videos I've done on incels, which I'll link at the end of the video. I would take that very, very seriously because nothing they say is a joke to me. At least that's just me.
kind of sarcastic bits.
This is a performance for the cameras and for me, a woman, because this is a chat room of incels, virgins spread across 3 continents.
These are my friends. This guy's name, we call him Prince, bald already. This is a guy named Dank, he's a compulsive liar. Yeah, Joey's this vice bitch still there. Written by fuck you. And that's just how we talk though, you know, like this bitch, that nigga, this, that, you know, like.
No comment. No comment. I refuse to get into that.
It's just like vulgar. And you could call that toxic, but we're all desensitized to it.
Most of the world was introduced to incels when Elliot Rodger killed 6 people at UC Santa Barbara in 2014.
Police didn't have to search long to learn what motivated a 22-year-old gunman to kill 6 people and injure 7 others.
Before doing so, he posted a 141-page manifesto, mostly blaming women for not having sex with him.
And I will slaughter every single spoiled, stuck-up, blonde slut.
And this I've always meant to look at this video. I actually did a video on it. I just didn't upload it because of a lot of reasons that were outside of my control, but that's beside the point. This guy right here is one of the most influential, like in the incel community. He's basically the god, right? He's their North Star, right? He's the guy that to them he went out in a blaze of glory because girls didn't want to get with him. And I've already spoke about him. I've already gone on tangents about him and said all manner of things about him. So it would be useless for me to keep going on and on and on about him.
It made him a hero among some incels. Then, in Toronto in April, Alec Manassian praised Rodger on Facebook before driving a van into a crowd of people, killing 10.
I've not looked at this video yet. This is the next one I'm doing. Stay tuned for
Alec
that.
Manassian wasn't part of a terrorist group, but it may not be as simple as suggesting he was a lone wolf.
What is an incel?
It's involuntarily celibate. It's just something you are. You know, volcel is voluntarily celibate. Incel is involuntarily celibate, meaning you've tried many times and failed. And then there's mental cells, which is probably best fits me, someone who can't form a relationship because of mental blockage.
What have you been diagnosed as?
Agoraphobia, obsessive compulsive disorder, social anxiety, social paranoia, that's not even a thing.
Joey is 23 years old. He doesn't have a job, he's not in school. On a given day, he may not get up from his chair, where he sits sometimes for 2 days straight, smoking cigarettes and running chat room.
Oof. Not getting up from your chair in 2 days is wild. I feel sick when I stay in my, like, I work at a desk, right? Like I don't work, but I do my stuff on a desk, and if I sit on it for like 5 or 6 hours, like just grinding, it feels like you feel sick, right? And thinking about 2 days, bro, that has to feel awful, man. And you're in the same chat rooms, you're talking to the same people. Even if you're an incel, you have to ask, like, bro, get up from your chair. What are you doing? Like, go outside, go touch some grass, right? Like,
Honestly, I feel more real here, sitting in front of the computer. When I go outside, I almost depersonalize a little bit and feel like I'm playing a video game. I don't know what that is, it's just a state of mind. It's probably just a side effect of isolation.
Are incels violent?
I don't think they're really violent, they're very meek. And when an incel attacks, it's not the same type of thing as when Dylan Roof shot up that church or when ISIS blows people up. Those are perhaps more masculine. These are like docile men who have like this bottled up thing and then it comes out as an outburst of anger. But I think that that's uncommon.
People joke about killing women.
That's a higher percentage. People who joke about killing women.
The jokes were ambiguous enough that Reddit banned its incel forum last November for violating its policy.
thank you. I in the last video I went off on Reddit for not kind of banning these communities that form these subreddits that were around on incels. I was asking myself, like, why are these still up? Because they're just spreading violent ideology. So I was like, man, why are these still up? Good job. It took them long enough, but they finally removed them.
Policy against inciting violence. But incels still talk on sites with fewer rules, like 4chan and incels.me.
What does Elliot Rodger mean to the incel community?
People look up to him, I guess, in some sense. Not in the chat room I run. It's part a joke, part people look up to.
And do you like the ambiguity that you can't tell whether they're joking or not?
Yeah. Well, that's the...
Even if they're talking about someone who killed people?
Well, I think that it's part of a way for them to heal themselves. Maybe they feel bitter and resentful like he did, and to be able to laugh at him is a way to be able to laugh at themselves.
Incels.
I have to say something first before I continue. Here's the thing. Getting girls is hard, right? Like, that's a universal rule for it's a universal rule for most guys, right? Like, it's not easy to get girls because they don't, in most cases, they don't just walk up to you, right? At least not the ones you're interested in, right? And it's hard to like live like that, you know. So where normal guys and incels kind of veer off into different paths is one of them kind of takes responsibility for that and says, I'm responsible for what is happening to me, right? I am solely responsible for what is happening to me. And incels kind of blame the girls, they blame everyone else, right? They take the responsibility off them and it makes them feel good, right? Because in that state of mind they can feel peace, and maybe they can get away from the idea that they could be responsible for their own loneliness, right? I just had to say that. I'm not saying that I'm getting, that's not me, right? But where normal people and incels veer off and where they separate is that, responsibility. One takes a responsibility, the other one doesn't. And if they take responsibility for that, they can move forward better. And I think with enough work, I think like I've seen people who are lonely as fuck, and right now I'm talking to, they have girlfriends and stuff, right? And that could be the same for these guys, but only if they took responsibility and they worked on the part of themselves that they need to work on, you know. Sorry for going on that tangent, I just had to say that.
Believe in a strange cosmology where a male archetype named Chad talks to women with ease and is rewarded with sex.
How's YouTube allowed this? Now I have to blur that out.
Incels define themselves in opposition to this.
It's basically a drawing of a girl and a guy. Use your imagination.
As too ugly or awkward, and resent women for falling for the Chads of the world.
Before we came here, I told you to just be yourself. You said that was a joke.
The joke was like, he's some skinny loser and Chad does something awesome and he goes, hey man, how do you do it? And the guy, Chad, just goes, just be yourself, man. Chad doesn't realize that, his good looks or his muscles or his financial status or social status are what make him successful.
Another reason is blaming money, blaming all of these muscle. Bro, you can go to the gym. Like, you can go out and actually work for things that you want in order to make you to make your chances just a tiny bit higher, right? Like, you can work on things like your social skills. You can work on the way you relate with people, how people a lot of these things they're changeable, but they don't want to admit that, and that is to their detriment. And I think that's why that's at least my theory to why they cannot get girls as long as they have this mindset.
Successful and what get him friends. He doesn't realize that. He thinks it's just his personality that does that. It's just virtue of him being him.
Incels think that without a stigma on female sexuality, women will sleep with countless high-status Chads, leaving the remaining 80% of men sexless and resentful.
Women who have had sex with 100 plus men, and now they're kind of ostracized from their communities, and they feel that they were kind of lied to by a feminist progressive society that told them it's okay to flaunt your sexuality.
But that just seems kind of like a cartoon to me. Like, I don't actually know in my personal life many women who've slept with hundreds and hundreds
You don't?
of men.
That's...
Again, we go outside. Being online for too long can do that. Stuck in this kind of echo chamber where the same people are saying the same things, and it reinforces your beliefs even more. Saying that all girls are, for the lack of better term, the whores, right? Like, all of them, they just want a person with 6 figures. Yeah, that's where they kind of trip themselves up. At least that's what I believe.
You should interview girls 22, 23 right now and ask.
Again, I'm sorry, I'm pausing too much. Again, you've seen these videos of people interviewing, that's online, and the place they're interviewing is a place like Miami. What I'm trying to say basically is it relies on context, right? Like, you would go to another place and girls would give you completely different answers. Don't take these videos of interviews at face value. All right, don't take them as, oh, this is truth and this is no, it's not. It's only a small subset of people interviewed by one guy. That's it.
It's them how many partners they've had.
For all the anger directed outward toward women, there's more directed inward. Incels are dangerous, but mostly to themselves.
He's gonna get his dick out. That's what he does. Gets his dick out, shits his pants.
And you wonder why you're an incel. What type of girl on this planet that? No, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to shut up.
He's shitting his pants. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. This is what happens.
And that's funny.
This stunt was one of this guy's recurring jokes. So was suicide. He died at home on July 7th. Coroners haven't yet ruled on a cause of death.
Yo. That came out of nowhere. That came out of nowhere. I didn't even expect that.
In this subculture, people bond over self-loathing. Joy says it's therapeutic, but 4 of his friends have killed themselves.
Phew, that is 4 people, bro. 4 people. And you don't think there's a problem with that? Yeah, man. Again, he has to see at least a pattern. If 4 people commit, they commit self-deletion, basically. You don't see that as a sign or anything like, holy shit, there's something wrong here. Like, people, this doesn't just happen to a friend group. Like 4 people self-delete. That's not normal, right? Like, a lot of these people, they have the wrong beliefs, wrong ideologies. I think they need to change them. Like a guy like that, the guy who was talking the entire time, I guarantee you 100%, if he fixed a lot of his issues, he's getting a girlfriend like yesterday. I'm not even lying, right? And he actually makes himself available and goes out and actually talks to people, gets over his fear of people, right? Granted, I have that too, right? And I'm trying to deal with that myself. So it's not one of those things where I'm saying it condescendingly, but I know that's the way people follow in order to become better. I've seen people who have gotten results with that. I talk to people every day who have done these things and gotten results, right? I'm sorry I've been blabbering for so long. It's just this topic is just, it's sad because it really illustrates what happens when you're stuck in an echo chamber with people who echo the same beliefs and they reinforce your beliefs. Yeah, man, this is a great video. Other than that, see you guys later.